What if you could control a computer with your mind alone? Picture a world where a paralyzed person sends messages, edits videos, and navigates the web simply by thinking. What if vision could be restored to the blind with the help of a chip implanted in the brain? Welcome to the fascinating and controversial frontier of brain-computer interfaces, where biology and technology are becoming one. Today we're diving into Neuralink, Elon Musk's ambitious project aiming to revolutionize both medicine and humanity itself. Whether you're a tech fanatic, a skeptic, or just curious about the future, you'll want to stick around for this. So let's start with the foundation. Neuralink's key innovation is the N1 device, a tiny, fully implantable computer that sits under the skull. The real magic happens through 1,024 electrode sites on 64 barely visible, flexible threads, each thinner than a human hair. These threads dive gently into the brain, landing in the grey matter just 3 to 4 millimeters deep. Every electrode sits just next to a few neurons. And what does it do? Each one listens for the electric spikes, brief voltage bursts that neurons emit every time they fire a signal. This is the language of the brain, and, for the first time, we can eavesdrop on it in real time. But the N1 isn't just a microphone. It's a two-way street. While it can record the brain's signals and translate them into digital commands, it can also send out its own pulses, stimulating neurons and modulating their activity. Neuralink has already shown that by zapping certain brain cells, they can cause a monkey to perceive flashes of light, or phosphanes. In the future, stimulating the right spots could mean restoring lost senses, or even bypassing injuries to awaken dormant muscles. How is all this possible in such a tiny device? Neuralink's N1 has custom chips to amplify the minuscule neural signals, digitize them, and wirelessly send them out to a computer, typically via a protocol like Bluetooth. There are no wires snaking out of the skull. Charging is done wirelessly too, using an external coil placed on the head. You could have one of these, and from the outside, no one would know. Now, connecting 64 threads without harm is no small challenge. Enter Neuralink's robotic surgeon, the R1 robot. This high-precision machine inserts those flexible threads with hair-thin needles, rapidly weaving dozens of them into the brain in just minutes. Its onboard imaging system skillfully avoids blood vessels to minimize trauma, making the insertion not only quick but also potentially much safer than the shaky hands of even the world's best human surgeons. In these ways, Neuralink claims to be setting a new standard in neurotechnology. But the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. Neuralink's research software doesn't just record, it learns. In their 2021 primate demos, they allowed a monkey to play video games, first with a joystick, then, after the system learned, the monkey's neural patterns with algorithms, simply using his thoughts. That same technology, Neuralink says, is being developed to help humans with paralysis move a cursor or type on a keyboard, all with their minds. Imagine someone no longer able to move a finger, but suddenly able to browse, communicate, and even write software by neural intent alone. Let's step back and see how we got here. Neuralink was founded in 2016, led by Elon Musk, along with a team of elite scientists and engineers. Their initial aim was bold but clear: treat serious brain disorders like paralysis and, ultimately, explore enhancements for healthy brains. By 2019, they'd secured over $158 million in funding and publicly debuted a robot sewing machine to implant their first animal prototypes. In their energetic 2020 demo, Elon Musk introduced Gertrude, a pig with a chip in her snout area cortex, demonstrating real-time streaming of neural spikes as she sniffed and ate. The device, Musk said, was like a Fitbit in your skull, capable of everything from treating diseases to one day even enabling superhuman cognition. Neuralink's demos have since become legend in the tech world. In December 2020, they revealed Pager, a macaque monkey playing Pong using just brain activity. The audience was captivated. It proved not just the concept, but a real, working neural interface. But that milestone also drew scrutiny. Animal rights advocates claimed the tests involved suffering and deaths among Neuralink's research monkeys, triggering official investigations and raising questions about safety and ethics. For all the excitement about progress, there were disturbing reports of complications, such as brain swelling and paralysis, shedding light on the high costs of innovation. The pace of Neuralink's advance, both technological and ethical, hasn't slowed. In May 2023, the US FDA gave the green light for Neuralink's first-in-human study, the PRIME trial. By September, they were recruiting people with severe paralysis, and in January 2024, Elon Musk announced success. The first human patient, Noland Arbor, a 29-year-old quadriplegic, received the implant. Within weeks, Arbor was able to move a cursor and interact with a tablet using pure thought. In 2025, Neuralink's second patient, this time with ALS, used the implant to edit and narrate a video. We're witnessing history, people interacting digitally by mind alone, bypassing the body's usual pathways entirely. Looking at what's possible right now, Neuralink's technology is still experimental. Animal studies continue to validate the platform, monkeys playing games, pigs showing predictable brain activity correlated with movement. But what about humans? All current use is limited to clinical trials, focused on people with severe paralysis or neurodegenerative diseases. Participants use brain signals, detected and decoded in real time, to move cursors and control devices. The app's ultimate promise is independence, allowing people who've lost muscle control to type, navigate, and connect with the world on their own terms. For now, though, these studies are careful, incremental, and tightly regulated. No commercial device yet exists. No broader therapies, like vision restoration or memory enhancement, have made it out of the lab. But Neuralink is already looking beyond movement. Their Blind Sight project is working on direct stimulation of the visual cortex, aiming to provide rudimentary vision to those who are blind. Early animal data show that specific neural patterns can elicit simple perceptions, like flashes of light. The plan is to someday feed camera input directly into the brain, enabling users to see objects as a matrix of light, improving navigation and independence. They aren't the only ones. Researchers elsewhere pursue similar strategies for speech, hoping to one day allow even those unable to speak to communicate at conversation speeds through direct neural decoding. What could the future look like if Neuralink and similar technologies succeed? The possibilities are dizzying. In the near term, people paralyzed by injury or disease could regain enormous independence, controlling wheelchairs, computers, or prosthetics by thought alone. Communication barriers could fall for those unable to speak or type. Restoration of lost senses, like vision, would be life-changing for millions. And the medical applications go deeper. BCIs could potentially bypass damaged spinal cords, restore movement, or even treat stubborn psychiatric conditions by influencing deep brain circuits. Imagine, too, a blind person perceiving the world through a visor and a brain chip, or a person with locked-in syndrome regaining the ability to converse for the first time in years. but there's a far broader, and for some, alarming, vision at play. Elon Musk has long hinted at the idea of human-AI symbiosis, a future where brain interfaces not only heal, but also enhance. Imagine direct brain-to-computer, or even brain-to-brain communication. Imagine knowledge downloaded at lightning speed, or telepathic conversations. Musk argues that linking our brains with powerful AI is essential, if only to make sure humanity keeps pace with the accelerating capabilities of machines. Even if the vision sounds like science fiction, mind-controlled devices, instant messaging by thought, and new ways to search the internet are on the near horizon. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility and risk. The widespread use of BCIs would radically reshape notions of privacy. Your brain's signals are your most personal data. Ethicists warn that wireless BCIs could be vulnerable to hacking and surveillance. In a nightmare scenario, someone could intercept or alter neural information, stealing your intentions or even injecting commands. Imagine brain identity theft, or blackmail via a compromised neural stream. Medical risks are also serious. The implants require brain surgery, not trivial by any measure, and the long-term effects are still not well understood. Chronic inflammation, device failure, or even unintended stimulation leading to seizures or personality changes have all been reported or theorized. Then there are the social and ethical challenges. Recent coverage of Neuralink's animal trials has raised hard questions about animal suffering in the name of progress. When it comes to human enhancement, the looming issue of access and equity arises. Will only the wealthy or privileged benefit? Could BCIs create a new social divide between the augmented and the unmodified? How do we ensure consent, autonomy, and a healthy sense of self when our very thoughts might be decoded or influenced by technology? Regulatory oversight hasn't yet caught up. Neuralink has, at times, been criticized for its lack of transparency and for gaps in trial reporting. Bioethicists call for strong, clear guidelines to ensure that innovation serves the greater good, not just tech's bottom line or the ambitions of the few. There's a fine line between therapy and enhancement, and it's one that could quickly blur without vigilant societal input and debate. So where does this leave us? Neuralink's brain-computer interface stands at the intersection of dramatic hope and deep uncertainty. Its tiny electrodes let us peer into, and perhaps one day shape, the very processes that make us human: thoughts, feels, intentions. For some patients, it could be a literal lifeline, restoring dignity, connection, and capability. For society, it will force us to confront age-old questions about mind, machine, and what it means to be ourselves in an age where even our brains can be networked. Will Neuralink fulfill its promise of connection, restoration, and enhancement? Or will it raise dilemmas we're not yet ready to solve? One thing is certain: the story of Neuralink, its advances, its setbacks, and its controversies, will be one of the defining technological sagas of our era. Stay curious, stay critical, and keep asking questions, because the brain's next adventure is just beginning. We hope this exploration has enriched your understanding of these profound scientific concepts. For more in-depth analysis of complex phenomena, consider subscribing to our channel. Until our next examination of the natural world.